An old lady in the car was in tears because she had been looking for her lover for 70 years, but when she finally found her lover, the man had forgotten she existed.
Come back to me.
Jamie was confused, although he was destined to have good luck this year. But what's with this old lady? And gave him a gold pocket watch for no reason. So the old lady, amidst the crowd's astonishment, turned away with a mysterious face. But the surprise Jamie didn't know, the old lady was sitting in her car, with tears in her eyes. Her eyes were filled with sadness and helplessness. When she returned to the hotel, the old woman picked up the book that Jamie had published. She put it on her chest and she shook it. She shook it, and she shook it, and she shook it out of her world.
And then 8 years passed. Now Jamie was a famous screenwriter, but lately he's been in trouble, so he decided to give up all his work and go traveling. But during the trip, Jamie checked into a hotel.
In the hotel's history gallery, Jamie's attention was drawn to artifacts from decades ago. But just then, he felt as if a pair of eyes were watching him from behind. He slowly walked forward. A beautiful face appeared in front of him. After just one look,
Jamie was mesmerized by the girl in the painting. Her elegant and smiling face. It was as if Jamie had found his destiny.
So he immediately went to Arthur, the hotel's old butler. From Arthur's mouth, he learned that the woman in the portrait was called Lisa. She was an actress 70 years ago. Jamie was a little disappointed, but the woman in the portrait seemed to have an infinite power. She was always on Jamie's mind, even at night. He tossed and turned in his sleep. Unable to sleep, the next morning, Jamie went to the portrait again. This time he was determined, based on the information provided by Arthur. He went to the library to look for information about Lisa, but what he didn't expect was the last picture of Lisa was the old woman who gave him the watch that day. The next day, Jamie finds the author of the book. Upon realizing that he had come to inquire about Lisa, the old woman was very wary. But when Jamie took out his watch, the old woman was shocked, because this watch Lisa had always treasured.
But on the night of her death, the watch disappeared.
It turned out that the old woman was the daughter of Lisa's servant. She took care of Lisa in her old age. She told Jamie about Lisa's life. She knew that Lisa had never been married. Finally, the old lady told Jamie Lisa's favorite book was about time travel. But here's the surprising part. The book was written by Jamie's college instructor. What Jamie didn't expect was that Lisa had made a music box of his favorite songs. At that moment, Jamie realized that there was a connection between this woman and himself.
The next day, Jamie went to his college advisors. He asked him about time travel. He said that under intense self-hypnosis, he had time traveled for a short time, but then never succeeded.
In the afternoon, Jamie went to an antique store and bought some coins from 1912. Then, he dressed up carefully. He was going to follow the method taught by his teacher. Under strong psychological suggestion and self-hypnosis, he managed to travel 70 years ago. With just one look, the man fell in love with the woman in the photo. But the woman was nearly 100 years old and died 8 years ago. But the magic of love can turn people around. The man wants to go back 70 years to court the girl, but he can't concentrate in his repeated attempts. Even when he sweats, it doesn't help. Finally, he comes to the attic of the hotel. He looked through the guest book from 70 years ago. To his surprise, he found it had his name in the register that day, room 416. After returning to his room, Jamie readjusted himself, and under strong mental suggestion and hypnosis, his soul seemed to fly into a time tunnel. The wallpaper on the walls changed again and again, appeared and disappeared. When he woke up again, the decorations around him had completely changed. At that moment, Jamie knew he had crossed over successfully.
After a short period of questioning, Jamie finally found the girl that had haunted him. But before the two of them could talk, Lisa's agent interrupted them
and warned him to leave Lisa alone. But after traveling so far, Jamie didn't want to give up. So Jamie took advantage of Lisa dancing with an old man, successfully danced with Lisa. Though Lisa thought the man was a bit of a wannabe, but faced with pickup skills that traveled 70 years later, Lisa of this era, how could she control herself? But just then Lisa's manager, with a security guard from that era, kicked Jamie out in a gentlemanly manner. But the next morning, Jamie had the nerve to knock on Lisa's door. He wanted to ask her out for the day. But Lisa, being the big star that she is, Lisa, being a big star, wasn't going to be so casual. So she refused, but Jamie pretended to be shocked and said something really humorous. But then, just then, their hands came together. At that moment, Lisa felt numb and weak. In the face of Jamie's humor and the anticipation on his face, Lisa finally chose to say yes. Okay, 1 o'clock. In less than 2 days,
Jamie managed to get a date with a big star at the time. The two of them, one star, one screenwriter. In such a professional match, Lisa was also attracted to his writing and creativity. Then the scene changed. The room was filled with love between them. Even the editor wanted to fall in love. What's going on here? But just as they were about to kiss each other,
but they were interrupted by the agent's knock on the door. Once again, their good deed went down the drain. In the evening, the drama show at the hotel began. Jamie was there as promised, but Lisa, who was performing on stage, suddenly had a feeling. She changed the lines of the play and said what she wanted to say about love. And this action of hers, all the actors backstage were taken aback. But it's a good thing this sudden remark didn't change the course of the play. After the first act, the audience still applauded. The photographer was taking pictures of Lisa. Jamie suddenly appeared backstage. Lisa, who was posing, saw Jamie. The corners of her mouth turned up and she expressed her love. The photographer pressed the shutter. The beautiful moment is captured forever. What kind of love makes this old lady search for her lover for 70 years? But when she finally found her lover, he was still young. Come back to me.
Now the hero has gone back 70 years, but the woman's agent tried to stop them. He locked him in a stable when he broke free and came to the door of Lisa's room.
The hotel manager tells him the whole troupe left last night. In a moment, Jamie Saturday on the bench with a look of regret. Why had he so easily believed the manager's bullshit? But just then, a figure slowly came out of the woods. Lisa didn't leave with the crew. She gave up her career. She stayed behind to wait for Jamie. Jamie, there were no obstacles on this night. In this room, the wooden bed creaked all night long, but the good times were too short. That day, Lisa said out of the blue, Jamie's clothes are too old-fashioned. But Jamie didn't think so. He said it was very practical. It even had a pocket for coins and change. But when he saw coins that didn't belong in this day and age, Jamie, when Jamie woke up again, he's back 70 years later. He couldn't accept the reality. He tried to go back again, but no matter how hard he tried, he's still lying in the same place. For the rest of his life, Jamie was looking for a way to go back in time. Jamie went round and round the place where they met. He looked at Lisa's picture on the wall over and over again, and so, sad and desperate, Jamie, Saturday alone in the house for days and nights. When the hotel staff found him, he had been on hunger strike for a week. The doctor examined him. His vital signs were weak, but at the end of his life, Jamie had a smile on his lips. The camera pans out and a light shines into the room. Lisa is at the end of it. She seemed to have been waiting for Jamie's arrival. I was born before you were born, but you were born before I was old. I hate you for being born late, but you hate me for being born early. I have to say, this is a very touching movie, especially the face of the female lead. Her angelic face, fluffy hair and charming smile made the author, a lecherous man, couldn't even dare to have a single evil thought. What's even more unexpected to me is, the hero was played by Superman. Unfortunately, Superman had an accident. He was paralyzed by an accident. A few years later, due to an illness, he died at the age of 56. The last thing I want to say is that after watching this movie, I suddenly had an urge to try. I want to try the method in the movie, under strong psychological suggestion and self-hypnosis, to see if I can really travel to a certain era. Everyone in the comments section can try it too, or discuss the era you'd like to travel to the most. Okay, this movie ends here. If you like it, please like and follow. I'm Scissor Movie. See you next time.